Hello everyone, and welcome to my new obsession, leatherworking. Now, this is a completely new craft to me, and the most sewing I've ever done is to make this one mask video. And it's not even really the same because with leather you have to punch the holes first and use 2 needles to sew at the same time. But if you've come to watch a tutorial on leather, this is not it. This is just me sharing my experiences and things I've learned for the first time doing this craft. And the first thing I'd like to share is how important the different leather types are. The main ones being veg tan, chrome tan, and faux leather. Because when I ordered my very first leather kit off of Amazon, which I will leave a link to down below, I got faux leather, which was very confusing to me. But let's go ahead and jump to the past me for unboxing in case you'd like to buy this kit too. Hello everyone, my name is Ashes and welcome to leather crafting, I guess. I watched a video on someone making a leather wallet. I wanted to make a leather wallet. Now I have $35 worth of crafting tools. This was the kit I bought. I probably don't know what half of these things do. It just looked like a decent deal to get started with, and it had decent reviews, so I was like, okay, I'll pick it up. Let's go ahead and open this box. It looks like it's all just kind of chucked in here with like some bubble wrap on top, so I hope nothing's broken. Needles? You know what these are? Looks like there's some different kinds. I know a little bit about leather crafting from that video that I watched. I think you have to use 2 needles to sew, like a saddle stitch. I think that's how leather works. We got some wax thread, which was another reason I got this kit, because I know you need specifically wax thread to do this, I think. Got some sanding sticks. Okay, that's good, I guess. Do you sand leather? I don't think he sanded leather in the video that I watched, but I assume you do, or sand something. I think these are like to stain with, or to like do edges. I don't know. This is gonna be a terrible video because I don't know what any of this stuff does. These are the little, oh man, what are these things called again? Got some little finger condoms. Why would you need that? I guess maybe if you are doing stain, but I don't have any stain, so. These are those little, I don't know what these are called, like pegs? These are buttons in different sizes. They actually look kind of cool. Can you see that? That looks neat. There's a couple different styles in there. That's pretty nifty. I have no idea what these are. Do they connect? No. I don't know what these are. They got these little tools. I feel bad for somebody watching this that's like a leather crafty person. I think this is like goes with this, right? To punch the little things down. I think that's what he did in the video. This is like a little anvil, or maybe it's this side. I think. I really don't know. I don't know what this is. Maybe to punch holes? Looks like a stir. A stirrup. No, I don't know what that is. An acrylic sheet? I don't know what this is for either. Okay, acrylic sheet, that's good. This was probably a piece of packaging. Looks like I got some razor blades. Interesting. Tiny little box of razor blades. This is an awl. I know what this is because I've done a little bit of fabric-y things before. So an awl. I don't know what this is. This is like one of those punch sewing needles, I think. Can you see that? It's got the hole in it. I don't know. We'll put the little thing back on. I think that these are like circle cutters, I think, maybe. Right? I think they're just a bunch of different kinds of circle cutters, I think. We'll leave them in the bag. Whoops. I think that's what that is. Oh, this is a razor blade, okay. Oh, okay. Got a razor blade here. How on earth does that work? I don't know what this is. I'm gonna cut myself. Do you just like snap the blade on? Okay, so this has got a little blade in it. I literally have no idea how you use it though. I was able to snap it on. I guess that's what the box of blades are for. I don't know what that is. This looks like a hinge to a door with some... I don't even know what you would make with that. Okay, we'll put that away. Let's do this. This I think is a palette knife. Whoops. I want to keep the wood on it. Or maybe like a shaving down knife to shave the leather down. I don't know what I'm talking about. I think this is for like carving, because you can like carve into leather. But then again, I don't know. Let's see, what else we have? We have a nice little hammer with like 2 different sides. Oh, okay, that side's coming off. Let me screw that back on. 48. Okay, I know you have to hammer things down, so that's good. Feels like a nice weighted hammer. I don't know. It's not like too heavy. Brr. Then we got some burnishing tools. I saw how to use these. You like heat up the edge and it makes the edge of the leather shiny. I've seen this one. I haven't seen the square one. I guess for like square edges, I would assume. Interesting. Then we have some of the like, wait a minute. Okay, apparently I can't open these. So I'm sorry if you hear my heater. It's very cold outside. Hopefully it's not so bad because I'm kind of far away from it. If not, I'll probably just dub this part over. But these are those little things to make the needle holes, or the sewing holes I should say. Got a bunch of different kinds. That's pretty cool. Now, I got a 6, a 4, a 2, and a 1. I think that's the normal set, I think. And it looks like they're 4 millimeters apart. Is that normal? The normal size? I don't know. I really should have done a bit more research before I just decided to buy things. You know how it is, fellow crafters who just buy things. And then I think this is just like a measuring tape. We got a cutting mat here. Let me see what this is. This is a... Oh, I think this is to do the edges. You like cut off a little bit of the edges. I don't know if you can see that very well. My camera's not like the best. But I think you just like shave off some skin. And then we got a cutting board. Ooh, a nice metal ruler. This feels like a decent sized cutting board. It's got some cool like circle or radial stuff on the back, and then some nice square and some cool little shapes. It's a nice cutting board. I appreciate that. And then we got a metal ruler, which I assume will be useful. I think I'll keep it in the packaging though. Cool, cool. And then it looks like they gave me a little leather sample. I wonder if this is real or not. Should I try making something out of this? It's pretty small. I actually didn't order any leather, so I'm gonna have to order some. But I'm gonna have to look up some projects. Maybe some like scrap leather projects? I don't know. It feels good. I really don't know what leather's supposed to feel like though. It feels a lot fuzzier on the bottom than I thought it would feel. So maybe this is faux leather? Does faux leather work the same? I don't know. But all in all, I think it came with most things, right? I mean, absolutely no directions. Oh crap. Dropping my leather. And by leather, I mean yarn. I should be able to make something out of this. I'm gonna go try and find like a little pattern that maybe I can use with this. And find some projects I did. There are actually quite a few free leather patterns online. I decided to jump right in the deep end with a little coin purse, mostly because the pattern fit perfectly with the size leather piece that I have, and it honestly didn't look too hard. And honestly, it wasn't. I used this pattern with a couple of changes because I wanted to try putting in a snap. And that's where this pattern got a little difficult for me. But first, I punched these holes so I can get a perfectly rounded edge. And then I cut the rest out with an X-Acto blade. And you could see how really terrible I am at cutting nicely. And for the part I had the most trouble with, it's putting in the snap. So apparently you're supposed to beat the middle part in until it flares out, but this kit didn't come with any instructions, so I struggled for a good hour until I ended up giving up. I gave up. I'm just sewing this together. Maybe I'll put a piece of Velcro on it or something, but I can't do it, so I'm just gonna glue these pieces together. So I decided to put a hold on that and go ahead and glue the edges together, just so the pieces stay together while I'm punching the sewing holes. I just used some crappy glue and then let it sit while I go to Walmart, perusing the craft section as one usually does, especially because I was looking for a button to kind of try and hide those holes I had punched. I actually happened to see some snaps, and on the back was some directions. So I bought that pack even though they only really had super heavy duty ones. I figured I could at least try and figure it out, and the trick was just to beat the crap out of the middle of it. I was worried about breaking them. Don't be. You really have to crush those middle bits, especially if your leather is as thin as mine was. And after I got that sorted, look at that, it looks like a pouch now. I punched the holes for sewing. I'm not sure I actually needed to do this with faux leather, but I wanted to try anyway. I just lined up a ruler and tried to get the punches straight. If you didn't know, pretty much the entire leather crafting industry is based on hammers, so you better have a good one. And honestly, I think it turned out pretty even on both sides. And then you just have to sew it together. I used this cool black wax thread. I mean, I don't know if you actually have to use wax thread, but everybody says you have to, so that's what I'm using. So the stitch I try is called the saddle stitch, where you get one long piece of thread, put needles at both ends, and then you just sew together. The guy I was watching said that it's like threading your shoes, and it's kind of like that. It's kind of hard to show in the video because I try and keep it close to me, but I'll leave the tutorial I watched down below. It was very helpful, and I think I did okay, except for the fact that somehow I completely missed a stitch. Also, I completely forgot about the burnishing part. I tried to do it, but I don't think you can do that to faux leather, so what do you think? Honestly, I'm pretty proud of it. I'm still pretty proud of it. I've been using it to hold my little snap anvils, and it's been holding up pretty well. Unfortunately, though, this project gave me the confidence to just jump up a couple notches and try making a Drinkkoozie, which is a 3D project. And, you know, sometimes you just need to be humble. And so, I cut out some nice black leather using a very simple looking pattern, and then I actually get to bevel the edges. It was kind of difficult to get a nice fluid cut, but I think it ends up looking okay. Not that you can see the edges in the finished project. And then I decide to overly complicate this project with embossing. Mostly because for some reason that resin embossing video I made in 2020 has blown up. I don't know why, but if you're here because of that, thank you. I'm almost to 100 subs. And I know that's not that impressive considering it's been 2 years, but I'm going to try and upload more crafting videos since that's what I really want to do in this channel. But back to embossing leather. It's a bit harder than resin because leather and fabric in general have a bit more static to them, so definitely do not forget to use your anti-static bag. Also, you could be a bit smarter than me and use simple stamps, but I have the complicate everything gene and I can't do that. So I picked this really cool whale and ocean border stamp, but first I go ahead and punch the holes so I can center my stamps a bit better. Now, if you've never used embossing powder before, here's what you need. Some clear embossing ink, which comes in a pen if you can draw, and a pad if you just want to stamp. Also, you'll need an anti-static bag, just to make sure the powder only sticks where you want. Sometimes this works. It works with paper and other things like that, but like fabric, you'll see me having a little bit of trouble even when I do use it. And then you'll need embossing powder, which comes in many fun colors. The finer your powder, the easier it is to get sharp lines. You'll also need a paintbrush to brush some of the excess away, and a heat gun to melt it and turn it into its plastic form. It's also very simple if you haven't picked the world's most complicated stamp, but after a few tries, I do get a nice stamp. All you have to do if you make a mistake is to get as much powder off with your brush, then go ahead and hit it with one of those pet hair rollers or some tape if you don't have one. But if you're going to be working with any kind of glitter or powder substance, I would highly recommend it. And if that doesn't get it clean enough, you can also wipe it off with some water and then go ahead and let it dry completely before you try again. But after you got your designs looking as decent as possible, you can hit it with the heat gun to set it in place. And it looks pretty good. I think I should have done maybe a brighter color than this silver, but I don't hate it. That is until I start the next part, which is the sewing part. Now, first me hitting this with water and letting it dry completely a couple of times, I think shrank my holes, so I had to go ahead and punch them again. And the stitch I used for this is called the baseball stitch, and it was very hard for me to get a hold of this thing. I need like 4 hands to hold it and stitch it at the same time. It took me like 4 hours to get down the first side, and I must have watched the tutorial for this stitch 1,000 times, and I'm still not 100% sure I did it correctly. But when I finally finished, I went to burn the edge of the thread down and I accidentally snapped the line above it, and I was not re-sewing the entire thing, so I went ahead and UV resined it together. And it looks like I bought it at a yard sale for 50 cents. But it functions. I can put a can of nondescript soda in here and then hold it. I mean, was it really worth all the mental pain? Probably not, but the last thing I try to make is a keychain holder, because after that stress, I needed something very easy and something I knew I could do. And I really should have started with this one because obviously it's the easiest, but I do get to try out my stamps because I bought some, because I can't just not buy all of the things for a craft as soon as I start one. So I bought a set of stamps, and then I bought some of these cute little animal stamps at Hobby Lobby. So to get started, I actually cut out a test piece of leather so I can go ahead and see what each stamp looks like. And it's pretty simple. You just wet the leather. I use this little sponge brush, you know, that comes in those cheap brush kits that I literally never use. But it's perfect for holding water and brushing leather with it, I guess. And then you just wait a couple minutes until it soaks in, and then you go ahead and hammer the stamps. And here's what they all look like. I had a little bit of trouble with the dog in the paw print stamp, but I guess maybe because that's a bit more complicated. After a couple of tries, they did come out pretty nice though. I also really like this leaf stamp. I bet it would look really cute as a border. Next I go ahead and cut out the strap that I'm going to use. It's pretty easy. You just cut 2 perpendicular lines, and then I round the edges. And then I punch holes where the snaps are going to go, because I figured I might as well try them again since I think I know how to do them. So I go ahead and decide to stamp this before I put the snaps in, just so it looks even and nice. I go ahead and put a dog head on one side and a bone on the other side, and then I do this cool texture stamp all around it. I think it actually comes out pretty nice. It's kind of hard to see, so I pick up some leather dye, and I wanted to go ahead and give it a try. I've heard leather dye is very dark, so I thought I'll pick up a medium brown because I normally like dark colors, and I tried on the test piece of leather first, and it's pretty dark, I'm not gonna lie. I do like it though, even though it kind of hides the stamps, but I go ahead and dye my strap. It comes out darker for some reason. Maybe I gave it 2 coats on accident trying to even it out. It's like very hard to see the stamps, and I don't have another color of dye, so I get some of my metallic gold acrylic paint and try to do like a dry brush on it. It picks up the textured stamp really nicely, but it only a little bit helps. I mean, it does give it this gold sheen, so I mean, it looks pretty good. It kind of grows on me. When I first did it, I really did not like it. But the next part is to add the snaps. For some reason, I didn't record me doing so, but it was much easier this time, and they snap together much better on this thicker leather. And that's pretty much it, just a little keychain holder. It looks pretty good. I think it'll hold up pretty well. This definitely should have been my first project, but you know, you live, you learn. I definitely want to try making some other things, so there's probably gonna be a part 2 to this leather crafting. So thanks everyone for watching, and thanks everyone who's been watching my old videos. I didn't think I'd ever get past 50, let alone almost 70, but I really appreciate it. Even a few views on my things make me feel really well, so thanks everybody, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye!